Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with yet another video of the Arizona Sports Fan. Thank you so very much for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit NFL Combine. Now, if you guys don't already know, obviously the NFL Combine is going on right now where, all their young prospects that are coming out of the college, they're put to test with, anywhere between like a 40-yard dash, vertical test, bench pressing, just all that stuff, just basically seeing how they rate. It does have to do with football, but more kind of like their athleticism and, what they can bring to the table. So, of course, obviously, all the teams are going to be there, and they're going to take a look at all these prospects and decide who they're going to go with this coming NFL draft. Now, head coaches also and GMs are also talking as well, just kind of giving a brief, description on what they think they're looking for, just kind of, giving an update to their fans. That's pretty much exactly what it is. Now, Cliff Kingsbury as well as Steve Keim talked to the Combine and giving their 2 cents and, what they were excited about last year, what they see, moving forward. But today, I want to talk about Bruce Arians. Now, Bruce Arians was our head coach at one point, but my goodness, this guy is... I can just sit there and watch Bruce Arians speak and for about 5-10 minutes straight without saying a word, and I feel like I would be entertained. Like, I really love Bruce Arians. I like what he has to say and just everything about him. He's just so real that I honestly think that he might have slipped up this coming Combine, guys. We're going to go ahead and dive into it here shortly. Go ahead and roll that intro. Guys, welcome back. So like I was mentioning before, what this video is going to be about is basically about Bruce Arians, our former head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, talking about possibly wanting to get a player like David Johnson. Now, when a player is under contract and you even speak of his name, it's pretty much considered tampering. And Bruce Arians, obviously, because either he didn't care, he just let it slip up, whatever the situation might have been, but he kind of spilled the beans that he is looking for a running back like David Johnson. Now, he began the conversation with not finding a lot of running backs out there any longer that is like a 3-down back that's always on the field and that always is looking to basically ball and always put their 100% out there. Now, when he was listing off his players of choice of what he liked, the prototypical stuff, David Johnson's name slipped out from under his mouth. Now, he actually did say David Johnson, and he was like, oh, am I not supposed to say that? I think once he figured out that he said his name, I think he knew that he was in kind of deep stuff at that point. I think that's going to be like a fine or something like that. I'm not sure if it's to Tampa Bay or if it's to Bruce Arians himself, but that's just kind of spilled the beans on possibly the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wanting to get David Johnson. Now, this works great in the favor of the Arizona Cardinals because obviously we've been wanting to find a suitor for David Johnson to kind of get rid of, because obviously at this point right now, we know we have Chase Edmonds, and right now we're kind of in limbo with Kenyon Drake. Now, David Johnson is a possibility to go back to Tampa Bay. Not only that his name come out of Bruce Arians, the head coach from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, slip out from his mouth, but he's also considered the head coach that gave David Johnson his breakout season. Head coach that knew exactly how to use David Johnson in space, in the running game, and all that different sort of stuff. So if we can somehow get something from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would be ecstatic about it. Now, does this give the Arizona Cardinals more leverage because now we know that Bruce Arians wants David Johnson? I mean, it's obvious. Everybody knew that this would be the perfect spot for David Johnson to land back. I honestly do feel like it's 85% a for sure thing. If it doesn't happen and he ends up staying with the Arizona Cardinals, I hope the coaching staff can do something with him that makes him a part of the offense a little bit more than just kind of riding the bench and just sitting there with his helmet off. Back to my talking points here. Bruce Arians is in dire need of a running back right now, because the running backs that he currently has, I believe one of them's name is Barber, and I forgot what the other one's name was, but I don't think that he considers them number one running backs. And if David Johnson does get traded over to Tampa Bay, I really do feel like that can definitely do great things for Bruce Arians. He knows how to use them. He had David Johnson when he had his breakout year. He knows how to use them in space. I think one of the main things that David Johnson did not do so well in the Cardinals offense was the ability to do RPOs. Now, I think David Johnson needs to know that he's going to get the ball. Now, we all know that RPOs is basically designed to do multiple different things, to trick the defense, to basically have multiple reads in what you can do, whatever the defense shows. Now, I think that for the most part, I don't think he was comfortable in Cliff Kingsbury's scheme. I'm going to say that straight out right now. I think David Johnson needs to know that he's going to get the ball, and I do feel like within this Cliff Kingsbury scheme, it just was not a good fit for David Johnson. So to move him on and possibly getting a 3rd to 4th round pick for David Johnson would be something spectacular. I would definitely love to see that happen, because obviously right now you know that Cliff Kingsbury is not going to want to use David Johnson. It's obvious. Now, they've been saying forever that, oh, they're riding the hot hand from Kenyon Drake. That's the reason why he was out there so much. I don't think it was. I think that's just kind of all smoke, to be honest with you. I don't think that Cliff Kingsbury wanted David Johnson to play any schemes, whether they think that he was not fit, whether they think that he wasn't running hard enough. I mean, these are all comments that we've all said multiple times, but I don't think that it was riding the hot hand for Kenyon Drake. Yeah, that possibly was the reason, but I think there was a little bit more dip into that as to why we didn't see David Johnson with those last few games, and he was pretty much riding the bench. I do think that their plan is to basically trade out David Johnson to a contending team, or a team that's willing to give value back to the Arizona Cardinals. And that to me right there is an indication that Tampa Bay and the Arizona Cardinals have to have something in the works for David Johnson and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to basically swap a pick and just kind of go from there. Like I said before, I love Bruce Arians. I really liked what he was here as a head coach. He was really cool. It was a really bummer to see him retire, and then later, a year after, now be a head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That the sense that people said that, he was pretty stubborn. He didn't like to change his coaches. He was super loyal to his coaches. So I understood that sort of sense. But him as a person, I feel like overall, he was probably one of the best coaches we've had in my time as far as when I've been watching the Arizona Cardinals. So what do you guys think of this whole slip-up thing from Bruce Arians? I thought it was actually pretty hilarious, just because it's like classic Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians doesn't give a stuff about anything, to be honest with you. He really doesn't. He says what he wants to say. He's brash. He's just old school mentality head coach. And honestly, I don't think he really cared too much that he possibly did tampering during the combine, guys. But I thought it was just kind of hilarious, but also more to the fact that it's a possibility that David Johnson might get traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which honestly, if we can get some sort of value from David Johnson, I would feel like that would be a blessing in disguise, guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're watching the Combine, definitely leave this video a like. And yeah, we're seeing the new prospects coming along, guys. We're going to talk a little bit more NFL draft in this coming new video that'll probably be releasing in a couple days or even tomorrow. But definitely let me know in the comments below. That's all I got. Thank you so much.